Valedictorian is an academic title of success used for the student who delivers the closing or farewell statement at a graduation ceremony. The delivery of this statement is called the valediction. At McNally, the chosen valedictorian is often a student with high academic standing, in addition to being an exemplary model of our school and district's values. In addition to the grade point average, the McNally valedictorian is selected on the basis of involvement in school life and activities, engagement in local and other civic governance, and ongoing leadership and volunteer contributions within the school and community. This student upholds the motto of nothing but the best in his or her interactions on a daily basis. Traditionally, the valedictorian is the final speaker at the graduation ceremony before students receive their diplomas. So, the valedictorian address is generally considered a final farewell to classmates before they pursue their individual paths after graduating. As you've already seen, Michael DeMarco is an exceptional young man. In addition to Michael's excellent academic achievement, he also appreciates the importance of community involvement. This year, he has served as a student senator for McNally with the Edmonton Public School Board. In addition, he is the program coordinator for Seminar on the United Nations and International Affairs. Michael has also been a key leader for our youth engagement initiatives. Michael's friends and teachers describe him as intelligent, passionate, results-oriented, and generous. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Michael DeMarco to the podium.
Thank you for that kind introduction, Mrs. Thompson. Good evening, class of 2019. Before I begin my speech, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our honored guests here with us this evening, including all parents, friends, and family members. Additionally, I'd like to express, on behalf of the entire graduating class, a sincere thank you to all of the administrators, teachers, and other faculty who uplifted, motivated, and supported us over these past 3 years. I would also like to thank my family, peers, and the countless mentors who have supported me throughout high school. I can say, without a doubt, that without any of you, I would not be here giving this address today. Now, before I begin, I know there may be a few of you in the room that aren't the most interested in what I'm about to say. So, as a substitute, I strongly recommend watching my tassel bob around as I talk. Heard it should be very entertaining. Fellow graduates, I stand in front of you today as, ideally, a representative of the graduating class. However, I recognize that I may not have met every single person in this room. Yet, I know you. And no, that doesn't mean I've been stalking your social media profiles. I know you because I know you all embody what it means to be a tiger. Tigers are limitless, they are driven, and above all, tigers embody, in a Hillstead optimum, nothing but the best in everything they do. In the past 3 years, I've learned that the tiger spirit means hosting nationwide leadership conferences in seemingly impossible circumstances. I've heard the tiger spirit through the band room doors, listening to students rehearse diligently every lunch hour, getting ready to blow crowds away annually at our pancake breakfast. I've watched tigers express themselves through art, through drama, through dance, and through poetry. In light of all of these achievements, I want you to leave tonight knowing that though your time at McNally may be nearing its completion, your last high school curtain may have already closed, last whistle blown, or last IB exam written, that despite these endings, the culminations of your achievements within those beige halls will continue to linger and inspire future generations of graduates, while also serving as your springboard as you stride into whatever the future may hold for you, be it the working world, traveling for a gap year, post-secondary, or otherwise. To really get a better sense of where we're headed, let's take a chance to reflect on where we've come from. We first rode into high school on our high horses from grade 9, only to land squarely on our backs in grade 10. It took a good bit of work to get back on the saddle. For those of us inclined to get out of bed before 9 a.m. in August, we forced ourselves to school for orientation and awkwardly passed around a beanbag for a few hours, played some name games, and hopefully made a friend or two meanwhile. In the first weeks, we frantically struggled out to figure just where our classrooms were, or for some of us, had a free excuse to show up late to class for the first few weeks. You may have joined your first club, or potentially made the cut for that sports team, and life was simple. You took the title of pre-IB in stride, not really knowing exactly where it would go. Everything in high school probably felt bigger. For me, it especially did, mainly taller. Grade 10 was a year of learning, but once we got into the swing of things, high school started to make some sense. Then came the 11th grade. Things were more natural. We had spent a year climbing the ranks. We could worry a little bit less about trying to fit in and could finally begin to develop our own identities. Roles became bigger, stakes became greater, IB all of a sudden became very, very real, and coaches started to rely on you more. But you stood up to the task. In fact, you rose above it. And together, we continued to push each other to new heights. With your roots established after a year of growth in grade 10, you could begin to adventure and try new things, all while keeping track of the things that make high school, high school. Who's dating who, what's in style, the general buzz. We became more active members of our school community. We successfully ran a bike-a-thon, rocking sumo suits and consuming excessive amounts of caffeine, raising tens of thousands of dollars all the while. We rallied behind our football team at Tiger Pride, losing feeling in our fingers for a few hours to watch our football team. I'll leave it there. In some ways, however, grade 11 was also a bit of a blur. We watched eagerly as the grade 11s wore their best neon spandex for Spirit Week and imagined ourselves in their shoes and hopefully not their spandex. Graduation was just one more year away. Following summer 2018, it was your turn. Your grade 12 year had arrived. Now at the top of your school, we became captains, starters, leads, and drove our school community forward. As much as we, ourselves, continued to embody Nihilstead optimum, in a lot of ways, we started to role model those positive attitudes to our peers. We fostered community. Through all of the competitions, events, tournaments, and functions, you kept one steady eye on graduation, and it paid off. You staved off senioritis just long enough, even with that irresistible April snowfall. We participated in our last Cinco de Mayo, our last H-Fest, or our last arts showcase. This year, we sang our hearts out with the Consti, stunned crowds at Coffee House, and more. In the coming weeks, we'll look back and laugh at all of the ridiculous things we have done, all knowing we have made it. We have all overcome our own circumstances to be in this auditorium today. At one point or another, you may have thought your presence today here unlikely. Well, fellow graduates, you made it. You have made your dreams a reality. So where does that leave us? 17 or 18 years of life have passed, and we have grown in every conceivable way. Our teachers have spent countless hours, both inside and outside of the classroom, divulging invaluable wisdom. They've challenged us with new projects, provoked us to tackle complex questions, and through this all, shown us a new part of ourselves. For some of us, it may have come through long hours getting additional support from a teacher going above and beyond to make sure we were ready for that test. Or perhaps it came during a rehearsal for a band concert or a drama performance. No matter where it came from, teachers were essential to making this reality possible. The other vital part of the equation that brought us here today was your family. Fellow graduates, no matter where your path takes you, never forget your roots or where you came from. They ensured your brown paper bag lunch was packed on that first day of kindergarten oh so many years ago. From there on out, they would continue to support you on the sidelines through your many, many years of education. My mom always reminds me as I step out of the car before heading to school, "Don't embarrass the family, Michael." And they'll continue to always be there for you, no matter where your future may take you. There are a trove of life advice in all sorts of forms, whether it's the best way to remove a spaghetti sauce stain or how to properly file your taxes. Good thing we know the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. To the parents and guardians, thank you for all the help you've given us so far. No matter where our lives may lead us, make sure to keep us grounded with the values and morals upon which you raised us. Now, graduates, the true challenge is carrying all of that wisdom forward. Our generation is undeniably a catalyst for change. Graduates, you are to be envied. We find strength in our youth and our potential, and now it is time to convert that potential energy into kinetic energy. In the news, youth are everywhere. Greta Thunberg, a Swedish high school student, at the mere age of 15 years old, began to agitate about climate change in a movement that has caught so much traction that even kids protesting at our very legislature building are protesting as a part of that phenomenon. Emma Gonzalez and other survivors of the tragedy in Parkland, Florida, have turned conversation into action concerning gun control. No matter where your beliefs may sway you, there is no denying the explosive power with which young people are turning the conversation around. And if you haven't found your issue yet, or just what drives you, that's okay. Continue to stay engaged with the world around you, and using what you have learned in high school, whether within a classroom or without, you will be able to impact the world in all sorts of positive ways. The only place to find the answer to that be-all, end-all question of where do we go from here is to look intrinsically. The secret is that nobody has it exactly figured out. No matter your GPA, athletic success, artistic gifts, and that instead, everyone is searching for their passion. And it's not about blind passion either. I can already feel the parents itching, but what about the paycheck? Know your strengths, your competencies, your area, and own it. Become the best at what you do, because only you can truly do you. This is my message to you, fellow graduates. Find what keeps you up at night, what issues make you think twice, and make those your life's work. Whether this means carving out a new field of science, reinventing the wheel, or otherwise. As long as you are passionate about what you are pursuing, then you can be happy and live a life with no regrets, no wonders about the road not taken. Live relentlessly and lean in. Thank you.